This next video is tackling the two sections of navigation that are underneath the photos. And I've already gone in, because this is just a recipe and we've done it many times, I've already gone in and isolated this particular list of navigation, and I've put it into a div called photonav, and I've styled it so you can see the results of those decisions: white text, black background. So really nothing new, nothing out of the ordinary, just very specific style decisions to make it look like this. Well, one of the things that I know is that this particular first link is going to look different from the other links. And when you make a set of rules, they will describe every link. But you can use CSS and some modification in your coding to have just specific links appear to be different. So it's kind of a two-step process. The first thing we need to do is go into our code and find that particular link. So I'm just highlighting a bit of it so I can see in my code where it is. Now, where you're altering the code is within the href part, so within those brackets. So after the quote mark, after the hash mark, after the pound sign, we're going to add class equals, and you can call this whatever you want, but I'm going to call this white. Okay, so we're just introducing a class, something that describes this link to be different from the others. Okay, so nothing happened, nothing looked different at this point. But now we're going to write a rule that will isolate and because it has a class now, only be able to describe what this particular piece looks like. So new rule, and I want to make sure that, try to zoom up on here so you can see it a little larger than the video will allow you to see. So we're in the photonav div, and we're within a list, and we have a list item that has a link. There's some information missing here if you're just going right to compound. So again, we're in the photonav with a list item with a link that has a class of white. So it looks a little bit different. We haven't done this before, but just make sure that there are no spaces, that it's just the A period white. And then you can begin styling and giving the look for that specific one. So the background color is not black, it will now be white. And the text, we'll have it be the lovely orange. And you can apply just to see your decisions starting to take shape. The other thing is I do not want it to be as wide as what we're seeing here. So I have a few choices. In the box category, I could say auto, which will sort of shrink it to the actual size that we're seeing here. Or I could put in a width, just kind of guess at a width that I think that could be. So either way, whatever feels like will meet your end goal. I'm going to leave it as the width. So there you go. If you also wanted to rate a hover, how that would look a little bit different from the rules that we've been writing so far would be this. Let me zoom up again. So if it's in the photonav with a list item with a link that has a class of white and it's a hover, so these rules really do start to look a little bit funky. Oh, of course I'm going to copy this because I'm in the class. I need to be in the compound. Okay, then we'll just do something like, change the text to black. Now, the other thing that was part of my layout, I didn't want this to line up right underneath, right at the edge of this main div. I want it to kind of jut out and hang out over the side of this easel. So I'm going to go into the actual div tag itself, and we've done this before. We've used negative margin over here to kind of pull this list up on the page. Now we're going to use negative margin to move this list sort of out of the div tag that it's currently seated in. So I'm finding the photonav, and I will edit that rule and margin negative left. Just plug in 75 in. Okay, to see what happens. I want this to line up here, so let me keep working with that number until it looks like it's doing that. I'm getting closer every time. All right, so let's have a little preview of this. Okay, so perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. I had some other, rounded corner things happening. Notice in the design view, it looks like it's kind of underneath the easel, but in the regular view, it is where it's supposed to be, and my rollovers and everything are working just fine. So make sure that you're previewing in the browser. That's really the only way that you'll tell if things are doing what they should.